What up, everybody? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm doing the weekly forecast of the cosmic weather for all of us for the week beginning August 23rd, 2020, and ending on August 30th, 2020. So pretty much the last week of August. We're almost at the end of the year. We're almost at the end of 2020. Like, yo, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot believe it. This year, it's been weird, right? Like, it's kind of flown by. It's like, wow, this year is already almost over, but at the same time, in a weird way, at the same time, it's been like long, right? It's been like a long ass year because of all the crazy that's gone on this year. And all the crazy is definitely due to this lineup in Capricorn that we have. And Capricorn rules a lot of our structures and major stuff in our worlds and, you know, our personal world and the world around us collectively. So a lot of old ways have been broken down, a lot of things to do with like people in positions of power and authority, and, you know, corporations and all that stuff that holds us together is ruled by Capricorn, and it's all being broken down, you know, and that's caused a lot of stuff this year. But also we had Saturn move into Aquarius for a little bit, and Aquarius rules the collective. And, you know, we are moving into the age of Aquarius. Like, I don't think it's just like, bam, like you just shift into it like that. I think we've been kind of easing out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius. It's kind of been a blend, you know, especially with Neptune in its home sign of Pisces still. And it's going to be there till the mid 2020s. And then, you know, we have Saturn. It dipped into Aquarius for a little bit. So there were a lot of things that have to do with us as a collective. And, people getting together and separating over their opinions and over their beliefs, and, you know, all that stuff, all that Aquarius stuff. Saturn and Aquarius dipping in really affected our world. So and Saturn's going to go back into Aquarius in December of 2020. That's only a couple months away. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. That's only like 3 months away. And then Jupiter is going to join in Aquarius too. So that's going to really start to kick in the age of Aquarius really coming through. And if you guys want to learn more about that, I can talk about that all freaking day. If you want to learn more about that, about the new normal, listen, Saturn dipping into Aquarius for a second and affecting us in a way to where we're social distancing and relying more upon technology and being distant from each other and remote schooling, remote working. That's all Saturn and Aquarius. He touched into Aquarius for a second and like made us start to have to do all of that stuff and made those things be implemented into our daily lives and our world. Even dipping in for a second. So just imagine what the world is going to be like once Saturn enters Aquarius and stays there for a couple years. At the end of 2020 until 2023. Jupiter is going to be there in 2021. We got Pluto going to enter Aquarius in 2023. Yo, like the age of Aquarius is really coming through, you guys, like even stronger. We are being pushed into it even more, like accelerated into it. So if you want to learn more about that, I got something for you guys. Bam. So I'm teaching a class on Saturn and Aquarius. It's more like a lecture and showing you guys some examples of what happened the last time Saturn was in Aquarius, or a few different times in history, because Saturn goes through the signs. It enters a sign once every 28 years or so. So Saturn's been in Aquarius lots of times before, but we're going to look at history and see what happened when Saturn has been in Aquarius previously in order to look ahead into the future and see like what's going to be going on. And I am partnered with Nadia Shah with her Synchronicity University Speaker Series of 2020. I'm a part of this lineup of some really dope astrologers. I am like so freaking honored because I look up to some of these people. Like, I follow them and I read some of their advisement, you know, on like Twitter and Instagram. We've got some really dope people lined up here, and I'm a part of that lineup. Little old me, your homegirl. Like, it's crazy to me. I can't believe it, but at the same time, I'm really honored and super grateful. Nadia Shah is like one of the dopest and one of the sweetest people too. So anyway, I'll drop the website link in the description area and also in the comments to where you can sign up for my class. So it's going to be September 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm on the West Coast, and a lot of my followers are over here on the West Coast with me, so that's 3 p.m. our time, okay? And if you are in Europe or anywhere else, of course it's going to be a little bit later, probably be later in the nighttime, but that's when you can join me live, and you can ask questions and comment and interact with us live. But this will be available as an already recorded class on Nadia's website even after the live class. Okay, so fear not if you can't attend on September 2nd, but I do encourage you guys to join September 2nd live so that you can really interact with us and ask questions and stuff like that. But it's going to be a dope class, you guys, like looking back in history and then looking ahead and like predicting like what's our world going to be like. This is a crazy ass decade, you guys, as you have seen and experienced. The first year of this decade has been wild. Okay, so just imagine the rest of it, like the first half of it, you know what I'm saying, is going to be crazy. So we're going to look at all that stuff September 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific. Come hang with me, come kick it with me, and let's discuss some nerdy astrological stuff, okay? All right, so now jumping back into the weekly forecast, I had to, give you guys a little commercial or whatever real quick. You know how that goes. So what's going on this week? What's cracking this week? So we don't have any planetary ingresses that are major, meaning we don't have planets that are shifting signs, major planet shifting signs this week. But it doesn't mean that the energy is just going to be like dead and sitting there, okay? We are now into Virgo season. Virgo season's in full effect. Now we have the Sun and Mercury in Virgo. We still have Venus trailing behind in Cancer, so there's still some Cancerian energy in the air. And then we still have Mars in Aries. Mars is going to be in Aries until January of 2021. Now, I used to say that and it used to seem so far away, but now that we're almost into September, you guys, it's like that's gonna be like for the next like 4 months or so. We have Mars in Aries, so it's not full on just Virgo season, okay? We only say that because most people only know about the sun moving into the signs, and so they're like, hey, it's Virgo people's birthday. Yeah, it's the day that the sun, it's your solar return, but like, what about everything else, everywhere else? Hello. Okay, so anyway, we have the Sun in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, hanging out, chilling, in full effect. The first day that Mercury went into Virgo, I personally already found myself talking to my friends and saying, I hope that makes sense, or does that make sense after everything I said? And I was even annoying myself and had to catch myself, because that's exactly what Virgo energy is about, making sense of things, because Virgo is like super crazy logical, and Mercury rules the sign of Virgo. It's at home in the sign of Virgo. So it does rule like logic and practicality, practical thinking and problem solving and puzzles, wanting to solve puzzles, and what's dope about Virgo people? I know I clown on them a lot, but they have a sense of humor, which is why I get along so well with Virgos. What's dope about Virgos is I notice that because they're problem solvers, they're very cerebral, they're very they're thinkers, right? They like to untangle things and stuff. I noticed that Virgo people, they're really good at fixing stuff, especially like Virgo men. Virgo men. Woof. Okay, Virgo men, they are really good at fixing stuff. I've known a lot of Virgo men of all ages, from all different parts of the world and everywhere, that love fixing cars. They like to fix cars. They like projects to where they have to fix things, and it's a continuous thing. They have to work on something, they love doing stuff like that. My dad, I'm pretty sure my dad had Virgo in the mix, because both the Sun and Mars in my chart are in the 6th house in the whole sign house system. And those are your masculine planets, the Sun and Mars, and you usually inherit your masculine planetary energy from your father. So, that can give you some clues about like your father's chart if you don't know your birth father, or if you don't know their birth time or whatever. But anyway, My dad loved to fix cars. I have had several guy friends that I've known that just they love to fix cars, or they can fix anything. Like my oldest son is a Virgo moon, and he's always been, since he was really little, really good at just figuring things out, the mechanics of things and how they work and being able to fix them. So he was one of those kids where, even though I'm smart myself, there were some times where I'd be like, yo son, can you there's something wrong with the DVD player or whatever, can you go check it out, see what the problem is? And he would figure it out, you know. And my youngest is a Virgo sun and Mercury, and he's pretty good with figuring things out too. Yeah, I've just noticed that about Virgo energy. They're really good at problem solving, fixing things, figuring things out. So, and like, I know my dad had Virgo energy too, because I would always look at him when I was a little girl, look up to him like, my daddy could fix anything. It didn't matter what it was around the house. He wasn't no plumber or electrician or anything, but he could just figure out, you know what I'm saying? Like he could figure out the problem and fix it anyway. You know, a lot of Virgos are like that. I think that's really dope. The only problem with Virgo energy, with the whole wanting to fix things and projects and stuff, is a lot of times Virgos, it doesn't matter, masculine or feminine, will see a person as a project that they want to fix, you know, and they want to work on that person. And then when doing so, they can be a little overly critical and like see all the things that you do wrong and point it out all the time and really just want to fix you. And a lot of times it's like they mean well, and that's where their little Virgo hearts are at, you know. But it comes off as like, yo, are you even happy with me, with who I am? Or why are you trying to fix me all the time? Why are you correcting me all the time? That's one thing that it can be kind of irritating to other people. Yeah, like correcting stuff that someone's doing all the time. It's like, so what? Do you think I'm a dumbass or what? Like, or did you think before you came along that I was just a floating idiot? Like, duh, bumping into stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, before you came along, I didn't know how to do anything. Yeah, so just try not to get caught up in that if you are born a Virgo anything. But energetically, this Virgo energy is heavy in the air, so we are all basking in it and tapping into it one way or another, whether we are Virgo placement born or not. Okay. Another thing, and I'm gonna put some tips on my IG stories too. Try not to be a cynical a-hole or a know-it-all during Virgo season, you guys. Like, seriously, come on now. Like, that's something that runs rampant during Virgo transits, is saying things like, it's just common sense, everybody should know that, and forgetting the fact that everybody's minds work differently, number one. Number two, everybody was raised differently, so no, everybody isn't just supposed to automatically know all of the same things, and everybody isn't going to know what you know. You know what I'm saying? So that's a thing also that Virgo energy struggles with. And it can really come off offensive all the time. Like, you really think someone's an idiot because they don't know what you know, or just because you don't understand what someone is saying, or like a topic, someone could be super knowledgeable, but you don't know anything about it. You can look at them like they're the dumbass. And it's really like, yo, just because you don't know what I'm talking about doesn't mean that I'm the dummy. It means maybe you need to take the time to stop being cynical and judgmental and closed-minded, and you need to learn about what I'm talking about. You dig what I'm saying? So those are a couple little Virgo season tips from me, and I'll post some more on Instagram. I'll make the time to do that, okay? But yes, Virgo season in full effect. Time to get your motherfucking life. Like, time to, I know Virgos probably hate that I say this all the time, but it's true. Get organized. And that means around your house, your living space, your workspace, and also just with your life in general. Just figure out, what are your plans, and what are you doing with those plans? Are they staying up there in your head, or do you have like things written out? Do you have lists, of step by step of what you're going to do to make it to a certain goal? You know what I'm saying? Like, Virgo energy is all about that life. So when this energy is in the air, it really helps us to shift our focus there instead of when it was in Leo. It's like, hey, the world is a party, woo, like twerking with one leg in the air with a crown on your head. It's Leo season. Hey, look at me, I'm cute. That's all the Leo stuff. And glancing in every mirror and reflective surface that you pass by. Hey, look at me. Now it's like, okay, how can I get my life organized and in order? What's my 5-year plan, but that's more of like a Capricorn thing. But Virgo puts the plan together. Capricorn figures out how to really execute that plan and actually really does execute that plan. But anyway, yeah, get your life, man. That's what Virgo season is about. And yes, cleaning and cleansing and clearing your life of a bunch of BS, just whether that's material things you have around that you don't need anymore, or it's you want to get rid of like bad habits, negative ways of thinking. Although Virgo energy, to be honest, can be very negative thinking, very cynical and critical, and see things like everything as a problem, and be very pessimistic. So try not to lean towards that side of the Virgo season energy and more towards like, okay, what are the real problem areas of my life and what can I do about it to resolve and solve those problems? Now that is dope. Okay. That's what you should use that energy for. Not complaining, having a big ass complaint fest about everything and pointing out everybody's flaws and sitting there judging people and all that stuff. Like, no. Okay. So besides us stepping into Virgo season and easing into it this week, what else is going on? So we do start out the week on the 23rd with the moon being in Scorpio. The moon enters Scorpio. I think it's like early in the morning on the 23rd. The moon enters Scorpio and stays there from the 23rd to the 25th. So you already know, moon in Scorpio days, your mind is a little bit more on the darker side of life. You're more intrigued by things that have to do with the occult, with murders and serial killers and stories of like crazy stuff happening, stuff like that along those lines. Okay. And listening to like dark brooding music. I know I say that every month, but it's true though. It's true. Moon and Scorpio days, I personally think that they're good for getting a little cuddly wuddly with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like getting real close with somebody. The moon, it's like our moods. The moods that we're in is the moon. So yeah, moon and Scorpio days. You can feel a little more gothy or emo yourself and just want to put your hoodie on and be like, I hate everybody in the world. Oh my God. So, and just want to hide out and hermit out because you hate everyone and don't trust anybody. Yeah, moon and Scorpio days can definitely bring that out too. But they are good for just really digging into deep, like psychological thrillers or reading books that really make your mind go like really deep about stuff, and research and investigation. Okay. Moon and Scorpio days are really dope for that. The moon will oppose Uranus on the 23rd, which does bring a little bit of, little erratic energy. But moon and Uranus, when the moon is in a water sign and it aspects Uranus, it's like you can get a lot of quote unquote psychic insights, like a lot of intuitive insights, flashes of like, wow, all of a sudden you just know something from out of nowhere. This is definitely a transit where that can happen. So, this is in the evening, probably when a lot of people are asleep. So just watch the dreams that you have, pay attention to them when you wake up. Did you receive any real messages within those dreams? That could be a day where stuff like that happens. Alrighty then. So on the 24th, this is when we have, excuse me, we have where's Mars at? Mars is making a trine aspect, or I'm sorry, it's making a square. Mars is making a square aspect to Saturn. Okay, to Saturn and Capricorn. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of early in the day when the exact square happens, but it's been building up, creeping up, and then it's exact on this day, and it's still going to remain and linger throughout the rest of the week. So Mars square Saturn, what is this about? Both Mars and Saturn are both in their home signs, right? Mars rules Aries, Saturn rules Capricorn. Both of these energies are associated with the military and with executing, you know, and strategizing actions, okay, in order to like forcefully make things happen. So there could be something that goes on within you yourself internally or within your personal world to where something is forcefully being enforced, you know, like really, you know what I'm saying, like with a lot of I don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh my god, I have a little bit of like an allergy thing going on right now, so I'm not all the way clear with my thinking, but we'll get through this, okay? So Mars and Saturn squaring off, that's tense energy. So Mars is Saturn squaring in Aries and Cap. Actually, we may see some things involving the military or the president or something, because Saturn in Capricorn rules the president or the leaders, like world leaders, leaders of countries and stuff. So there could be some frustration with the people and rights and the authorities. So there could be something, and yeah, like I said, Mars rules soldiers, and then Saturn rules like the captains, the lieutenant dans, you know, drill sergeant. I always think of Forrest Gump when I think of the military. My bad, but those people are ruled by Saturn and Capricorn. So there could be something to where like we are given some sort of orders by the powers that be, and we are rebelling against it. We're pushing against it, like, no, we don't think this is fair. Why should we have to march this way? Why can't we march the other way? You know? So there's some challenge there. In your own personal world, this can even be maybe like at work, or it depends on where Aries and Capricorn are in your own personal birth chart, of course. But there's some challenge with like authority and carrying out orders. Maybe you don't agree with them, and you know, maybe they feel like they need to punish you or discipline you, and there's like a back and forth, like tense exchange. Mars is action and Saturn is a big ass stop sign. Okay, so there could be some action that you want to put forth personally in your life that you feel like you are blocked or stopped from it. Like there's a big old wall that was put in front of you. You're like, oh man, you see, I was running. I need to go watch Forrest Gump with all these damn Forrest Gump quotes coming up in my mind. I was running and then I ran into this big old wall and I want to get to the other side. Yeah, that could be Mars and Saturn square. Like that can apply to anything. That can be symbolic of you are running and chasing after a goal. Maybe you've got a goal with your work and you're trying to get it done, but then you feel like someone stopped you and blocked you and told you, no, you can't do it this way. You've been doing it wrong. No, you have to be retrained or something like that. And you're like, oh man, so you mean I got to take a step back after all this way that I've already came and made it to? Like, really? Saturn will make things a little bit more difficult for you. And a lot of times it's for good reason. It's to teach you a lesson. It's to teach you more endurance and strength with something and to test your willpower. So that could be what this Mars and Saturn square brings to you. But some people, they see that test of strength and willpower and they're up for the challenge, boys. So they're just, you know what I'm saying? Hopping those brick walls like nothing, you know. They're making it to the top of that mountain and they're like, now what, you know? So it depends on how you look at things and how you approach things. And of course, I'm gonna be a nerd and still say where it lands in your chart. So yeah, that's Mars in a square aspect to Saturn. It's either you are being pushed and challenged to work harder, or you feel like if you've been doing any reckless, idiotic things, you might see some disciplinary actions pop up for them. Okay, just letting you know. So that's on the 24th that we have Mars and Saturn square. We have on the 25th, this is when the moon moves into Sagittarius. And it's just a different vibe. It's just a different vibe when the moon moves into Sag. I love Sag moons every month. Sag moons are when the vibe goes from dark and brooding and moody in Scorpio to, hey, let's party, let's celebrate, you know, let's be trotting and thotting in these streets out here and not worry about responsibility, commitment, anything. Let's just be Peter Pan. Let's be big old kids. Let's just swing off of trees and, you know, jump off of stuff and go woo, and like not care if we land properly or not. Just the jumping part was fun. All that stuff is Sagittarius energy. So that's kind of what the vibe and the mood is like. So we've got the moon in fire and we've got Mars in fire. So it could be a little bit more of an action oriented day, but like I said, that Mars square Saturn is still popping. So you may feel like woo, but don't forget, you could be Billy Club by the authoritas. You know, if your actions are too reckless, too impulsive, or just plain stupid. Okay, because I'm not gonna lie, Sagittarius energy is dope and they can be some very smart people, but sometimes they could be reckless and impulsive too and do some real stupid shit. To where you didn't think about the consequences, and then after the fact, then you're like worried about, well, oh, what's gonna happen now that I did that? Oh my god, I've known so many Sages, and I love Sag energy so much, but that's totally them right there, man. That's totally them. So we all get that vibe, you know, when the moon is there in Sagittarius every month. But it's a happy-go-lucky energy. It's like no worries. I bet you that term no worries was created by a Sag. No worries. I used to have a boss who I'm positive she's a Sag rising. Sag rising is written all over her, even though she never gave me her birth time. But she's always smiling, and she always would be like, no worries, no worries, no worries. That was her favorite thing to say. And she was so cool, man. So I'm pretty sure she was a Sag rising. And that's kind of the attitude that we have when the moon is in Sag. We all adopt that mood. Okay. Also on the 25th, this is when we have Venus opposing Jupiter. And Jupiter is a ruling planet of Sagittarius. So Jupiter rules enjoyment, and so does Venus. Venus is the enjoyment of things that really make us happy physically as human beings, make our five senses happy. Your sense of smell, your sense of taste, sense of touch, all of that is ruled by Venus. Venus can be very indulgent, especially when she makes an aspect to Jupiter like this. Jupiter could be very indulgent too. So you could be like, whatever makes you happy, just jumping and flying after it, which can be good, of course, but at the same time, this can cause some reckless behavior when it comes to Venusian things like love. Maybe people are going to be huge risk takers when it comes to love around the 25th, or on the 25th, shall I say, because this is when we have the moon in Sag and we have Venus opposing Jupiter. That's like a double Jupiterian energy that we have popping off, you know? So we can just be having such faith and belief in things that we just jump. Now, of course, like I said, this could be good. This can help people people that have been stagnant with stuff, just finally get up and go after what they want, or who they want, maybe even, you know. But Venus and Jupiter opposition, Venus does rule money and the material things that we purchase with our money. So this can be a challenge with staying grounded when it comes to your money. You can act like you have this never-ending bank account, like this bottomless pit bank account of the world, when you have a Venus and Jupiter opposition and get caught up, and then, you know, a couple days later look at your balance and be like, dun dun dun, what happened to all my money? Yeah, so especially on the days when the moon's in Sag, it could be kicking that off, boy. And we could just be very, very indulgent, self-indulgent. This could be a very treat yourself type of a day, the 25th, and even into the 26th too, because the moon is still in Sagittarius. You know, the Venus and Jupiter thing is still popping. So you could be very much about treating yourself to anything that makes you happy. But you have, like I said, you have to watch it though. Okay, so that's on the 25th, the 26th. Now we get into the 27th, and this is when we have a couple of things pop in. We have the moon switches into Capricorn. So the mood becomes, it goes from being like happy-go-lucky Sag, jumping and flying, trotting and thotting, to serious, responsible Capricorn. And, oh, you know, that combined with the earthy Virgo energy too, all that earth energy in the air. This is really about what's your 5-year motherfucking plan, okay? What are you doing with your life? So that's Moon and Cap days. They can make you a little more bossy and, authoritarian. And if you're in that position in your life, in your personal life or your business life, it'll bring more of that out of you. Now, speaking of business, Cap rules business, okay? Corporations, being a CEO, having your own business. That's all ruled by Capricorn. So this is a good day. Moon and Cap, Sun and Mercury and Virgo, for getting it together if you are a business person, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are working for someone else, but they have you in a pretty prestigious position there. This is a really good day to come up with some good ideas, some good plans, some solid, workings for that business or organization to keep it operating properly. Okay. And also this could be a day where some people are like super bossy and judgmental and enforcing rules and, oh my God, you're wearing that. Oh, you're doing that. Oh, it's just improper. It's inappropriate. Like, yeah, there could be some people that have that stupid attitude. I'm very Uranian myself, so I don't really dig all of that. I think people should just leave people the hell alone. Let them look how they want to look, dress how they want to dress, do what they want to do as long as they get their work done. Just stay out of their business. Okay. But you may find that people are just extra like, oh, you're doing that, you're wearing that, you're doing this, you're not following the rules, oh my God. So watch out for tattletales and snitches, okay? The 27th, the 28th, those days at the Moon's in Cap, and we have all this Virgo energy too. We also have Venus. She is still making an opposition to Jupiter, but now she's making an exact trine to Neptune at the same time. Now, Venus trine Neptune is beautiful. It's dreamy. It's spiritual. It's Neptune and Jupiter. Venus, she's making oppositions to both. Both of those planets rule being a dreamer in some sort of way. Like Jupiter, dreaming is more realistic, I would say. It's like you see a target and you see goals and you head straight towards them with like no fear, no doubt. You're going to get what you want, right? And you're willing to put in the effort to get there, okay? Because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which is a fiery energy. It's action oriented. Now, Neptune is more feminine. It's like dreamy, to where you can be a dreamer and your imagination can come up with some dope shit, right? But it might stay up there in your head. You may not put forth the action to make those dreams or the things that your imagination comes up with happen, in the real world. They may just stay in your dream world and up there in your head. So Venus makes a good aspect to Neptune and a challenging aspect to Jupiter. But I would say with both of these, the good with this is anything that you want to do that makes you happy, or anything to do with love or money in particular, you can make some things happen that seem impossible, or you may go after. Maybe there's somebody you feel like you're really into them, but they might be out of your league. And normally you would hide away, shy away and all of that. But under an aspect like this, you might get the courage to be like, you know what? Out of my league, who cares? I see the impossible as possible. Let me go after them. Let me hit them up and see what's up, see what happens, I think I could have that person if I wanted them. So there could be that type of an attitude. Maybe with money making ideas, for example. Venus with Neptune, Venus with Jupiter. Maybe you see things, you come up with ideas that can make money, that are really dope, that are really creative, that other people be like, oh my God, why would you do that? Why do you think that's possible? Like, like stick up their ass type of an energy. Like, oh my God, like that's not realistic. But you can dream it up and you can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So a Venus aspecting Neptune and Jupiter day can definitely do that. Now, the negative sides to this, and even a trine is a positive aspect, but there could be the flip side to that too. You can lose control and lose track of money and material things a lot easier under a transit like that. So you can think that you have all this money and you really don't. That's, this is adding a little more of that seasoning to the mix of the energy. Okay. You can lose your items. Where's my keys? Where's my phone? Where's my glasses? Has anybody seen my yada, yada, yada? That's very popular with Venus and Neptune aspects, the good and the bad. You can, say, for example, you go on like a motorcycle ride or something, right? You're like, woo! And you forget to secure some of your personal items, like a small personal item, like your wallet or your phone or something. And it just goes flying off because you just took off into the wind, boy. Like, that's what a Venus and Jupiter opposition and Venus and Neptune trine can do. Something like that, maybe you go riding on a 4-wheeler or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do something wild and you forget to secure your material things and you lose them. Like, those are like common real world things that happen under transits like this. So just watch your material items and your belongings and your money, and around the 27th. Okay. But if you have any dreams that you want to go after, when it comes to creativity or when it comes to love, I say go for it. Go for it. See what happens. You never know. Okay. So that's the 27th. Okay. And then we have the moon in Cappy the next day on the 28th too. And the moon in Cap is going to be here hanging out with Jupiter, hanging out with Pluto, hanging out with Saturn. So that day could be a little rough, the 28th, because we have all this earthy energy. We've got still, Sun and Mercury in Virgo, and then Mercury is starting to make, great aspects to Jupiter and Pluto, especially. And, this is thinking energy. This is our thoughts, not thoughts like THOTS, like that hoe over there. Okay. Not, Although mercurial energy can like some thoughts, okay? Because mercurial energy is quick, it's fly by night, it's like you're in, you're out, peace, Anyway, my bad. I digress. So, Mercury, no, it's our thinking processes, it's our logic, our reason, our, our thinking processes. So anyway, Mercury is making some really great aspects to these planets. So it does have us doing more critical thinking and analyzing, when it comes to long-term goals in our lives. Mercury trine Jupiter is really dope for things like that, for goals. Mercury trine Pluto, this is like diving deep beneath the surface and getting down to the nitty-gritty, like for real. Like, researching things, not always trusting everything on the surface and being like, what do we have here? Have your little magnifying glass, or, really looking at things under a microscope, which Virgo is so excellent at doing already. But then we've got that aspect too popping up. It's like you really see all the details, anything that people try to hide and bullshit you about. You're like, nope, I see this. Okay. You can't fool me, buddy. So, that's popping around the 28th and into the weekend, and then we have the moon here. The moon also rules our mind in a sense as well. So there's a lot of critical thinking, a lot of analyzing, a lot of serious thinking on the 28th. Okay. Well, alrighty then. What else we got going on? So the 29th, the moon moves out of Capricorn, moves into Aquarius. And this is where the moon is going to remain for the rest of the weekend. So moon in Aquarius days, conspiracy theories, aliens, science, superior knowledge of the world. That's all like Aquarian energy. So that's the stuff that we could be more interested in during those couple of days. Sci-fi, all that stuff is Aquarius tings. But also it brings out more the social justice warriors. So if you have an inner social justice warrior within yourself, they come out even more during moon and Aquarius days, preaching on social media about how come everybody isn't concerned about this, and this group who's oppressed, and this group who is suffering because this, and this group is being da 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 yada da da. Yeah, all that stuff is Aquarius. Okay, so moon and Aquarius days are when people are trying to push more of that on others, and or it just comes out of you more if you feel like you have a cause or a particular group or something that is, you're affected by what happens to them. You'll be wanting to speak out or post things or share things or whatever regarding those particular groups or topics or causes. Okay, Moon and Aquarius days, just regular schmegular people stuff. They can make you like hella rebellious, make you be someone who says, whatever, I do what I want, I wear what I want, I go where I want, I listen to what I want, I don't care, I don't give a all right, so that's Moon and Aquarius days for you. So the moon is in Aquarius the 29th and the 30th. Yeah, I'm covering only through the 30th, so that's where we're at. That's how we end the week with Moon in Aquarius. We got Virgo energy still popping off. We got Cappy energy that the Virgo energy is aspecting. We also have the sun building up to a trine aspect to Uranus, which I'll talk more about next week. And Mercury is doing some things here with all this Capricorn stuff. So there's some seriousness in the air. There's some thinking and speaking about changes and about the future, because Uranus rules the future and major changes. Okay. So that's what's popping this week. And I forgot about, how can I forget about this aspect, especially being a Scorpio. Hello. So the 29th and 30th, we have Venus making an opposition to Pluto. Dun dun dun. It is cracking on the 29th, but I would say on the 30th is when it's exact, especially where I'm at. Yeah. So we have a Venus and Pluto opposition. Few things with this. Venus, she is still hanging with Jupiter a little bit. She's still hanging with Neptune a little bit. So that dreamy go-getter energy with what you can conjure up in your mind is still in effect. But now we have her making an aspect to Pluto. So anything Venus and Pluto is like Venus and Scorpio. If you have Venus in Scorpio, if you have Venus in your 8th house, if you have Venus with Pluto in your chart, or if you know anybody who's Venus in Scorpio, little Venus, she gets kidnapped and taken underground, honey. Okay, she gets kidnapped, taken underground. They throw some fishnet stockings on her. They throw a black leather jacket on her. They put some red lipstick on her. You know what I'm saying? They put some high heels or some knee-high boots that are black, and she's just strutting like, and she's on the dark side of life. She's on the wild and the dark side of life. So that's kind of how Venus rules style. So we may see more styles like that come out, and people will be like, well, what? It's not even Scorpio season. Like, how come women are rocking these Scorpio looks? Because of Venus and Pluto. That's why. Venus and Pluto. Now, the bad things about this is it can bring out jealousy, possessiveness, obsession. As a Scorpio rising, I will say not all obsession is bad, right? But it can bring out like the creepy McCreepersons, the stalker behavior and all of that. Ooh, yeah, nobody wants any of that. But she brings out passion though, which is dope. And yeah, the good obsession to where you and someone, if you're absolutely crazy about each other, but it's mutual and it's dope, like you could bring that out with the Venus and Pluto opposition. Venus and Pluto opposition, it also makes us more intrigued by things that are on the darker side of life, like the occult knowledge, occult studies, stuff like that. And yes, be rocking the color black and red lipstick or leather jackets. Ooh, even for dudes, like, Scorpio dudes, like how they dress. I'm like, dang. Like, especially when they have that the classic bad boy look, rocking like a leather jacket or a black coat or something, or they wear the color black, like black t-shirt. Like men who are Scorpio anything, if they rock black t-shirts, like I don't know what it is. It just, it looks good. It looks damn good on them. Like, hello, how you doing, Mr. Scorpio Mans? Okay. So anyway, like I said, with Venus ruling style, when she's opposing Pluto, we may see more scorpionic type of styles come through. People rocking the leather, the chains, the rips, the spikes, and all of that stuff. Yes, I love it. So anyway, that's what's cracking this week, you guys, from the 23rd through the 30th of August of 2020. So the last week of August. Don't forget to sign up for my Saturn in Aquarius. Sorry if I blinded anybody if you're watching this. Switching from darkness to light like that. But yes, don't forget to come through and kick it with me to find out how Saturn in Aquarius is going to usher in the future. Okay, like I said, the new normal, like what craziness that has been introduced to us in 2020 is going to stick with us in our worlds. So it's gonna be fun, you guys. Like, I keep teaching fun. Like, I could be hella nerdy. You guys know that. If you listen to me every week, especially, you know I'm like super nerdy. But I'm also like, I talk about things like it's regular everyday stuff. Astrology is like a second or third language for me. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's how I present it. So I'm not gonna get too nerdy to where you guys won't understand what the hell I'm talking about. And plus, if you're there live, you get to ask questions anyway. If you don't, so. Don't forget to sign up for this class. Okay, so it says scroll down to sign up. So here's how you sign up, you guys. This is, you can choose your own tuition rate. Okay, you can have a full access pass to sign up for like a few different classes. Okay. So you can sign up for different classes, not just mine. You know, like I said, there's other dope astrologers that are on the roster, and Nadia Shah is doing some stuff too herself. Now, the choose your own tuition rate is only available through August 31st. So this week that I'm covering in this forecast, this is the last week where you can choose your own tuition rate. Okay. After that, single classes are going to be available only at their regular rates after the 31st of August. So I encourage you guys to sign up now if you want to come kick it, talk about Saturn, Aquarius, have, look back in history a little bit, see some patterns, and look ahead into the future with me. Hey, come join your homegirl on September 2nd. Okay. So I thank you guys for listening to all my ramblings, and I hope you guys have a good week. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe out there. And yeah, I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe out there. And I'll see you guys in my next video. All right, peace.